Thank you very much, Massimo. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure for me to be again here in front of a big ManuFuture community. Many conferences we have done together. It was always a pleasure, and we can always say, I think we could always say it was a big success. And 10 years is a relatively long period, and I think one can only congratulate ManuFuture for the success they had in the last 10 years. You brought manufacturing back on the political agenda. I think it was really the individuals in this room, and let me just say it was Heinrich Flegel and Massimo Mattucci. But of course, behind them, there are hundreds of people whom I could name today who are father of this big success that you brought manufacturing back on the political agenda. And I think today it goes without saying, but if you look back 10 years, manufacturing was a bit the dirty end of the value chain, and nobody was really taking this so serious. It was more the service society which was very high on the political agenda, and now we can say that on the highest political level, both in Europe and in the United States with President Obama, we have manufacturing back on the political agenda, and we have the president of Lithuania saying proudly, we have 20% of manufacturing in this country. So, well done. But of course, if you do something well, you have to do even better in the future. That is always life, and that is also good that it's life like this. We see that we have a growing community in ManuFuture and beyond. We have today 500 participants from 41 countries. And I think everybody, in this room would be welcoming the opening of the subject to the colleagues within the European Union, of course, and it's very good to have the conference in Lithuania, but also beyond the European Union, because we certainly do not want to live in a fortress Europe, but we would like to see also our international partners cooperating. Perhaps if you have a good community and the opening up is coming with regard to process industries, for example, there might be some critical voices as well by saying, we are doing so well, and if we are getting too large, it might be, we might become less efficient. And there is, of course, always this risk. But I think if you go together with the entire production world, it is not doing harm, but it's doing a lot of good to this community, because at the end, the more you go united with European industries, the more your voice will be heard and the more you will be successful on the political side. Growing family, I think, also on behalf of the European Commission. We know, of course, and that is, everybody knows since the very beginning, it was a close cooperation between the colleagues from DG Connect, as they are called today, and in the old days was Information Society. So all the ICT technologies, together with the technologies in manufacturing, which we are representing in DG Research, we have been cooperating very closely since the beginning. But today we also have Antti Peltomäki, Deputy Director General of DG Enterprise, and tomorrow we will have the Deputy Director General, Mr. Poppins, from DG Regio. So you see also from a European perspective, you have a growing community, more DGs, more commissioners get involved and get interested in the manufacturing subject, and I think this is a very good thing to see. You invited me to speak about Horizon 2020. So first of all, let me say the budget. Money is always important and makes the world go round. There is perhaps some disappointment by saying, the Commission asked for 80 billion, the European Parliament even put a figure like 100 billion into the room, and finally you just got a little bit more than 70 billion. We still consider this as a huge political success. Why? The reason is that we believe that in a decreasing overall budgetary situation for the next 7 years, the budget of the European Union goes down, and I think this is absolutely justified, it's right, we understand that well. We cannot say to the member states, you have to make economies, you have to bring your public spending down, but we in Europe don't want to do it. So we also have to bring our budgets down. So I think everybody in the European Union and the European Commission understands that we are living in difficult financial situations. But research and innovation was increased from 52 to 70 billion. We are the only political sector in which there is an increase of budget. And I think this, we have to thank the European Parliament, we have to thank the Council of Ministers, and I think we can say it is a big political success that we brought the innovation subject so high on the political agenda that we got more money in a time where everybody else had to live with reduced budgets. Now, the content of the Horizon 2020, Commissioner said it, 3 pillars. One is the science pillar, another one is the challenges pillar, the societal challenges pillar, and the third one is the industrial pillar. The science pillar has significant budgetary increases because everybody is saying, if you have a pipeline and you don't put things into the pipeline, at one moment you cannot take anything out of that pipeline anymore. So we need people in Europe, excellent scientists, who fill with good research, with good science, the pipeline which will afterwards be used by the industry. So it's a very large budget, 24 billion, which goes into this area. And the second largest part is the challenges. So here we have transport, health, environment, energy, and you name them, which again are seen as the big subjects for Europe. And here again, you have a very high budget of 29 billion. Now, the industrial pillar. The industrial pillar is the smallest, it's only 17 billion, but still only with this amount is perhaps not right to say, but there is 17 billion of euros for the industrial pillar. And I think here we must also recognize this for the first time in a framework program that we see a dedicated budget for the European industries. I think that is very important to recognize that we are not somewhere hidden behind a challenge, we are not hidden behind something which is called, I don't know, a key objective. No, the industrial pillar is a self-standing pillar in Horizon 2020. And let me say here, in the internal discussions, the role of DG Enterprise here and of Vice President Tajani cannot be overestimated, because they were really doing a great job to pushing this subject into the political agenda also of research and innovation, with the key enabling technologies, with the discussion on further innovation, with the discussion on small and medium-sized enterprises. And I think here it is a very good example of very good cooperation between the different Commission services. And from that point of view, also from that point of view, it's great that Antti is here, because he will say these things himself, and it's always better to see it from the person responsible for this policy themselves than if I say it on my side. So I think we can say, yes, we have a very strong industrial pillar in Horizon 2020. Yes, we will have more industrial involvement, because if we look into the previous framework programs, industry was not sufficiently well participating, and so we are very happy to have this pillar. This pillar will probably be the one which is very, very innovation related, because that is what is new in Horizon 2020. We want to go nearer to the market. We want to see that the research results are going into an industrial reality. That is the name of the game. We do not just want to create knowledge, we also want to make sure that this knowledge arrives in the industrial reality. How to do it? The recipe which we have tested already in the 7th framework program is the public-private partnerships. The idea behind is very simple. By saying, if you want that industry gets more involved into your program, you have to talk to them, you have to ask them what they really need. So we have to have a permanent dialogue with the friends in industry in order to make sure that we are cooperating and we, from a public spending point of view, do the right thing and do things which are wanted and are needed by the industry. I think the examples we have from the last couple of years in Factory of the Future is very positive. More than $1 billion total spending was going into this area. I'll say a little bit a word about the individual parts of it as well. But let me first say that we are very keen to continue this experience in Horizon 2020 because we believe it was a success. And you, all of you, have made a major effort in preparation of this Factory of the Future in the next program. We had a very solid roadmap which was developed. There was a huge consultation process which took altogether, I think the whole process took more than a year with several iterations in order to make sure that we are not only serving a small group of industries, but that we are capturing the entire industry. And let me say at this occasion, Factory of the Future did a great job, but also your sister public-private partnership, the one on process industries, which is called SPIRE, also did a great job. They never had a predecessor activity in FP7, but from the start, they did also a very, very good job in order to reach the same speed as you have already in Factory of the Future, with a very solid roadmap, with a very solid consultation process, and of course with a dialogue with the member states and with a dialogue with the colleagues in the European Parliament and the Council of Ministers. So, if it's right that the Factory of the Future, SPIRE, the PPP model, which we will not only apply to these areas, but also to some other areas. We have a number of areas in the responsibility of our colleagues in Connect, which is robotics, photonics, high-performance computing, future internet. You have others in the responsibility of DG Research, which is energy-efficient building and which is the Green Vehicle Initiative. So you have this concept which will be rather strongly implemented in Horizon 2020, and there is a number of criticism around, because if there is a new instrument, people say, is that really so good? What is happening? Let me just give you a number of figures and share a little bit the experience we have from the last couple of years in the Factory of the Future experience, which we are sharing with the colleagues of Connect, because it's a joint venture between Connect and us. So it's not only one DG experience, it's a several DG experience. Is the process open? Do we have an open process, or do we have a closed club? The figures are very clear. We have 70% of the money in the Factory of the Future goes to organizations which are not part of the EFRA, which are not part of the family, this relatively small, but not so small, 150 organizations, a family of the institutionalized EFRA, where we have those people who are influencing and who are dialoguing with us on a permanent basis how we would shape our future calls and roadmaps. So 70% of the money goes to organizations which are not in this organization. So I think we can say it's a very, very open process. Every partner in Europe is welcome, and every partner in Europe is really encouraged to participate. What about SMEs? Is it only for the large companies? Again, the answer is no. We have between 25 and 30% of money which goes to small and medium-sized companies. So 1/3 of the money goes to small companies. So again, we can really proudly say we have reached also the small guys and the small partners all over Europe. Last criticism, it's just for the industry. What about the academics? What about the research establishment? Of course, we desperately need the academics and we desperately need the research establishments. Because many industries, and when I talk about small companies, of course they do not have their own research facilities in-house. So they need the cooperation with the research establishment and the academic partners. And if you see the figures again, 50-50 approximately is the money which goes to the industry, and 50% of the money goes to research establishments and academia. So I think we can also say here, yes, it's a joint venture between industry and academics and research establishments, but what also has to be said, it is the industry in the lead. We do not want that the university professor who has a very good idea comes to this program and says, I have a good idea. I have a good idea is for the research pillar, is for the science pillar, much larger than the industrial pillar, 24 billion euro. So if we do not want to cut this important research off, this research is very important, it has to be done. We are very proud of it that we have very good researchers in Europe. But here in the industrial pillar, the name of the game is that we want to help industry. We would like that industry gets what industry wants. And here, again, the academics and the research establishments are most welcome and are necessary to cooperate. So this is to the argument we are not doing enough for academics and for research establishments. I think here what is really needed is the good cooperation. So that is what we want to do in Horizon 2020. A lot of work from your side was done. Thank you very much for this preparatory work. A lot of dialogue was taking place between the European Commission and the industry. We hope that before the end of the year we will sign a memorandum of understanding between the organizations like EFRA for the PPPs in order to then make it happen in Horizon 2020. We have on the 16th and 17th of December a big launch event in Brussels for the RTD-led public-private partnership, so which is Factory of the Future, Spire, energy efficient building and green vehicles. And so we are looking forward to have a good start of Horizon 2020 with your help, with your full involvement in Horizon 2020 through the public-private partnership. And if I may close perhaps with a request. I know that you are very good in delivering, and I would like you to deliver something which is for me politically very, very important. We have to deliver success stories of Factory of the Future as it is done up to now. Because what we are asked today by our Commissioner, but also by the European Parliament, by the ministers, you have got 600 million or even more than 600 million in the last 4 years. And what have you done with it? Where are the success stories? The Commissioner has already mentioned one, but I think we have to have more systematic this kind of delivery of success stories, because at the end the politicians will not ask us, have you created knowledge? They will ask us, have you created jobs? What is your contribution to the fight against climate change? What about your energy efficiency? What about your raw materials efficiency? All these questions are coming up from the political side, and I'm absolutely convinced that you are perfectly able to give good answers to this. Perhaps we can use already this conference when you have the clusters, the workshops, to deliver results to the questions which the politicians are asking us, because at the end, we will only get more money, we will only be successful in the future if the politicians believe in what we are doing, and in order to make them believe what we are doing, we have to deliver positive results. But as I said, you are very good in delivering. I have no doubt that you are capable of doing it, but this is my request before I close, and I wish to all of us a very, very good conference and very good talks in the corridors and in the plenary sessions, and I thank you very much for your attention.